1. The Lion and the Mouse. One cold winter, a lion was lying asleep in the sun. A mouse came out of its hole and began to jump over the body of the sleeping lion. This woke up the lion. He caught the small creature and was going to crush it under his heavy paw. The mouse begged pardon and requested the lion to let it go. It also said that it might be of any help to him in future. The lion simply laughed. He could not imagine that it could be of any help to him. He, however, was moved to pity and let it go. Shortly afterwards, the lion was caught in the net laid by the hunter in the forest. He tried his best to free himself from the net, but all his efforts remained fruitless. So he began to lament. When the mouse heard his lamentation, it came out with its young ones. They sat to work, and it did not take them long to nibble at the ropes and cut them with their sharp teeth. The lion became free and thanked the mouse for its timely help. Now he realized that even a small creature could be of help to the stronger and bigger animals. Moral: kindness never goes unrewarded. 2. The hen that laid golden eggs. In olden days there was a farmer. He owned a wonderful hen that laid a golden egg every day. He was extremely happy. But after some time only one egg could not satisfy his greed. It was a slow process to get only one egg after every 24 hours. So he said to himself, 1 egg a day. It will take long to be rich. He grew so impatient that he wanted to get all the egg at once. He made up his mind to put the hen to death and become rich in an overnight. He killed the hen at once and cut open its belly. He began to look for the eggs, but there was none to be found. He saw that his hen was just like other hens. By his stupid act he lost even the egg he used to get every day. Thus the foolish fellow lost the hen that laid a golden egg daily. Moral: as you sow, so shall you reap. Contentment is a great wealth. 3. The Fox and the Crane. Once upon a time, there lived a fox and a crane. They were fast friends. One day the fox invited the crane to dinner. The crane gladly accepted the invitation. He went to the residence of the fox. The fox had prepared a liquid dish. It was served in a flat dish. The guest with its long beak could hardly pick up anything. But the host lapped it up in no time. Poor Crane went away hungry and disappointed. He cursed the fox for his selfishness and cunningness. He made up his mind to teach the fox a good lesson. After some time, the crane invited the fox to dine at his residence. The fox accepted his invitation and went to the residence of the crane. The crane placed before his guest a tall jar with a narrow neck. The crane with its long beak finished the contents of the jar. But the fox could not eat anything as his mouth could not go into the narrow neck of the jar. The fox went much ashamed and hungry. The crane paid him back in the same old coin. Moral: tit for tat. 4. The Fox and the Crow. Once a fox was feeling very hungry. He roamed here and there in search of food, but could not find anything to eat. To take rest it sat under a tree. When the fox looked up, he saw To his great joy, a crow sitting on one of the branches of the tree. He was holding a piece of meat in his beak. On seeing this, his mouth began to water and started thinking about the piece of meat. At last he hit upon a plan to get the piece of meat from the crow. He got up and said to Crow, "Good morning. I am glad to meet you. How handsome you look! What a nice beak you have! But if you could sing so sweet as you are beautiful, you could win for yourself the title of the Queen of the Birds." The foolish crow was taken in by the oily talk of the fox. He felt happy. He at once opened his beak to sing. As he gave out a loud caw in his cracked voice, the piece of meat fell down on the ground. The fox picked it up and ate it up at once. The poor crow had to repent on his foolishness. Moral: do not give way to flattery. 5. The Dove and the Bee. A bee once unfortunately fell into a river with a flow. It was being swept away by the strong waves of water. A dove was sitting on a branch of a tree at that time. Its eyes fell upon the bee and saw that it was in sorry plight. Taking pity on the bee, it at once plucked a broad leaf and threw it near the bee. The bee climbed on the leaf, dried its wings and flew away. It was full of gratitude for the good-natured and generous dove. After a few days the bee noticed a cruel hunter taking a careful aim with his gun at its benefactor. The dove's life was in danger. Realizing this grave situation, it flew directly to the hunter's hand, settled lightly on it and stung him as he was just to shoot. The hunter missed the aim. He cried with pain. In the meantime the dove flew away. The bee had made a good return for the help of the dove. Moral: do unto others as you wish to be done by. 6. The Camel and the Jackal. A camel and a jackal lived together in a jungle. On the other side of the river flowing beside the jungle, there were fields having ripe sugar canes. One day the jackal came to the camel with a plan to cross the river and enjoy the sugar canes. As he did not know how to swim, so he requested the camel to carry him on his back. The camel agreed to the jackal's request. They set out for the river and soon reached its bank. The camel carried the jackal on his back and crossed the river. On reaching the other side, they began to eat the sugar canes. The jackal was soon satisfied, but the camel was yet hungry. The jackal began to howl loudly. The camel asked him not to do so, but the jackal said that it was his habit to howl after meals. His howling attracted the attention of the farmers. They all reached the spot with long sticks. The jackal disappeared in a bush, but the camel was badly beaten. Now they were to go across the river. The jackal requested the camel to take him across the river. The camel agreed to do so since he wanted to retaliate upon him. When the camel reached the middle of water, he began to roll in the water. The jackal told him not to do so. But the camel said that it was his habit to do so after meals. As a result, the jackal slipped off the camel's back and fell into the deep water. He was soon drowned. He was rightly punished for his mischievousness. Moral: as you sow, so shall you reap.